Shittiest was Destiny Turns on the Radio. Sorry, guys.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
I don't even know what that is.
Look it up. And if you haven't
Did
out
he
there
direct
that
it?
you're listening to this, no.
Did he
He's
write
an
it?
actor in it. And
Well,
he's
then
the
I don't
main
count
guy
that.
in
He's
it.
not a great
I don't
actor.
count that.
Horrible.
I mean, I like his character in Pulp Fiction.
yes.
And I liked him as the brother in
when Bonnie goes to the
Dusk
store and
Till
buys
Dawn.
coffee, she buys shit.
Yeah. I mean, that was great, but that's you don't want him like as
No.
an
And I like
actor in anything.
the-
that
he's
he
the
has
guy
a
it's a
who
weird
tells
movie.
the story in 4 Rooms.
Yes.
Remember
Yeah.
that?
Oh, 4 Rooms is
Yeah.
so good.
The man from
And he
Reno.
wrote all those.
Well,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Man
he
from
rewrote
Hollywood.
a Twilight Zone episode. Is
Yeah.
what he did.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which
It
was
the
fine.
man from
the
Reno.
banter, the best thing about
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino is the dialogue.
Wait,
Yeah.
what
So-
Twilight Zone episode did he rewrite?
They did the
It-
same exact story.
Peter Lorre.
Yeah.
I think it was called The Man from Reno.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, correct us if we're wrong. But then
Is
they
this
call
the
it The Man
original
from
Twilight
Hollywood.
Zone?
Yeah.
It's got Peter Lorre in it.
Yeah, and
technically.
it's good, and I love that he did that because
Yeah.
it's a great story,
Yeah.
and he updated it.
Yeah, Bruce
and,
Willis in it.
And the best thing about Tarantino is the interaction between the characters.
Yes, and
You know what
that's
I mean?
and he's going to have 2 split characters that basically do the same roles. And I've already got some of the dialogue memorized from that shit, you know,
Oh, yeah.
because you got his stuntman, and then you got him, Rick Dalton. And basically they're always together, and it's like the end of his career, but it's the beginning of somebody else's career. But then the stuntman's got to think of something to do, so they're going to intertwine those stories in a way that's
Right.
going to be cool. And it's got Charlie Manson. What the fuck, right? Holy shit! This is going to be a fucking crazy movie.
Absolutely.
If you get a chance, watch the trailer for it. I've already watched it like 20 times, probably at least. Every time this movie's come out, I'm like, oh, I gotta go see it. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, it looks
I
really
can't
good.
wait.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I think that's it's going to be the only other movie besides the Avengers that I go see in the theater this year.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't think I'll go see Dark Phoenix in the theater. I might wait because I'm not like amped up to be like there in line.
I'll see Dark Phoenix at the Citadel Crossing.
Oh, yeah. Tarantino's movie, I'll go sit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that'll be a movie that I gotta go see.
Yeah, and I'll probably see more movies than
Yeah.
that just because that's something I like to do.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But I'm saying this is the only one I really want to go.
Yeah,
to,
that's
you know?
like priority one.
Yeah.
I agree with
Well,
that.
my friend in Austin, he texted me the other day. He said he'd been listening to the show, friend of the show, and I told him that there's a new Tarantino movie coming out, and he's like, "For real? Hold on." And he watched the trailer while we were texting. He was
Nice.
like, "You just made my week."
That's
He's like, "I
awesome.
didn't even know it was coming
Awesome.
out." I was like, "Damn, I can't believe you. I've heard
That's what
about this movie
Tarantino does. He just
for like
spreads
2
the
years.
goodness, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's why I think he's our generation's anything.
Yeah.
Great director, you know, best.
What, I mean, not the same genre, but as much as any other director.
Yep.
I was going to say a name, but it doesn't really matter.
He does
is what I would
really,
say.
really well. Well, let's move on. Let's
Yeah,
go on
absolutely.
to
now that we've done gushing over Quentin Tarantino.
We love you.
We love you, Quentin Tarantino.
Then we got our next part of this is TV shows.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've talked a lot about the TV shows. What We Do in the Shadows is still fucking awesome.
Yep.
American Gods.
Yeah, Legion season 3 is coming back again. I know we talked about it last time.
Yeah, we did.
But I think this one is going to be a really big one that's going to come back. You know what I saw today too?
What'd you see
That
today?
they're redoing the live versions of like All in the Family.
Yeah, and the Jeffersons.
What?
Jeffersons, yeah.
They did live episodes of those.
Yeah,
on
last
TV.
night.
They're redoing them?
Well, they're the most famous episodes. I think they're actually putting newer actors in them, and
What?
they're filming them in front of a live studio audience.
What?
And they're playing them on TV, which
Hey,
is
as
crazy.
long as I get to hear like the beginning of the Jeffersons.
Yeah,
You know?
Woody Harrelson is the main. Yes,
Walk around like Sherman Hemsley for a while. Get them arms flapping.
I didn't know this, but Woody Harrelson is Archie Bunker.
What?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Because Woody Harrelson's in everything, dude.
I know, right?
Who were we talking about last week where we said he's the Rock,
yes,
right?
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson, also the Samuel L. Jackson of this. Like, there's two of them.
Yes,
And he's like in
everything.
every
He does good.
franchise, dude.
And he does good at it,
Yeah,
too.
tell me a franchise he's not in. Harry Potter, maybe? Was he in that?
No, he's not.
Yeah, there you go. Done.
Well, he might have been one of the dragons.
Yeah, right?
He was a little dragon
He was
that
the
burned his
basilisk.
beard.
He was
Yeah.
the basilisk
Oh, yeah, there you go.
from the first one.
Yes. All right, let's get back to TV shows.
Yeah, circling back to TV shows, just one I want to recommend, rec it out. is Dark Side of the Ring. It's on Viceland. It just wrapped up.
Oh, you were telling me about
Yeah.
that, and it does sound pretty interesting.
On
If you
Vice,
like
you said?
wrestling,
It's on Viceland. It's
Viceland,
six episodes. It's kind of like different behind the scenes stories of some things that happened in the wrestling world. One of them's about the Montreal screw job, which it's kind of my more.
well, see, you're
era
our
of watching
resident
Wrestling expert.
wrestling.
Yeah, I do
yes,
know that. I
wrestling
do.
guy.
Yeah. So
and wrestling is still to this day. Growing up with it, I'll still watch it every once in a while
Sure.
and enjoy it
cool.
for what it is.
I'm not.
You know?
I'm not gonna. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched any wrestling.
It's
but
better than
I
most
will
of the
tell
things
you,
most people like.
I will. No, I'm not hating on it at all. But I mean, I grew up with it. You know, that's something I watched with my dad.
Yeah.
And my brother, whatever. You know,
it was on.
and then we'd wrestle.
Yeah.
This is a
You
cool
know?
show. So if you get a chance, Dark Side of the Ring.
Well, the movie that they made, the Beyond the Mat, was
From
such
the
a
late 90s,
great,
yeah.
great
Yeah, I remember
documentary
that.
movie that I'm surprised that they didn't do this sooner.
Oh, and so to tie that in, actually, Dark Side of the Ring is over now on Viceland. There's a new show called The Wrestlers, where I forgot the gentleman's name, but he's like a journalist. He goes and he's kind of exploring the different cultures of like the independent wrestling scene that's happening now all around the world. The first episode just aired on Thursday, so this next Thursday here coming up will be this Thursday when you're listening to this. This Thursday will be the new episode. So
Nice.
that's on Viceland. That's a cool show. Any other TV shows out there?
No, but I am going to share my favorite wrestling moment by
Sure.
far. Friend of the show, Stefan Garanin. And I'm probably saying his last name wrong. We used to work
But he is
together.
our
and
friend,
he's
so it's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Actually, I know him personally.
Yeah.
We were pretty tight when I worked for the Department of Revenue in Illinois.
Nice.
But he made me a tape one time, and it was like all this weird wrestling that was going on, like really low rent.
Like the backyard wrestling stuff?
No, it was in a wrestling ring, but I think it was like in Japan or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And then they'd had this other wrestling ring that looked like it was in a gymnasium, and they would cut to that one. It was all these like really out of shape, weird dudes. They would
Coco Beware.
This is how crazy it gets. What's the guy, Mick Foley?
Mm-hmm.
He's there, and that's like he's not on the one with the weird people that
Are
out of
you
shape.
are you saying the one where he got his head caught in the ropes and his ear gets ripped off?
No. This
Okay.
is him and a Japanese guy.
Okay.
And I don't know what his real name is, but the announcers were ICP, the two main guys from
Sure.
ICP, and whatever they called him.
Shaggy Two Dope and Violent J.
I don't know. I know like one
Nerd alert.
ICP song, and I like it because it's funny, but that's it. But it is fucking hilarious, dude. It is the best thing ever.
Dang.
Because they call the Japanese guy Lama Nama Numi.
Oh my.
And like, you don't headbutt Lama Nama Numi, you stupid son of a bitch. Stuff like that through the whole thing. They like pick the different guys out of the shitty one. They're like, oh look, it's Skinny Wolf. I will hopefully, Stefan, if you're out there and you're listening to this, if you could send me a copy of that, because I lost that really cool video cassette you made.
That'd be
Oh,
fucking
sweet.
awesome.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
please.
Anybody know anything new coming to DVD or Blu-ray? Because there's a lot of anniversaries this year. 10, 20, 30. Every year, of course, there's anniversaries for something, but these are some big ones. Batman from
Michael Keaton.
1989 was
June.
That was that seminal movie for us as
Yeah.
comic book fans.
It was a big
to see
deal.
that. And that is a huge anniversary for that movie right now. That came out on the 50th anniversary of Batman.
Right.
And this is the 80th anniversary of Batman this year.
Yep.
So 30 years later, that movie, I watched it the other day, still holds up.
Oh, yeah.
Still a great movie.
My favorite Batman movie, I think personally, is Batman Returns, the sequel to it.
Yeah.
But that's just personal. This first Batman, formidable. One thing I was looking up, and I saw this recently in relation to this, the new Suicide Squad movie is supposed to have a character in it called the Rat Catcher, maybe.
Yeah.
It's rumored
Yeah.
about that, right?
I'd heard that.
So the Rat Catcher is just kind of this low-level villain from Gotham who can control rats. Anyway, apparently, if you look carefully in this first Batman movie, now I'm not sure if this is even intentional or not, but there is an outfit that looks a lot like a Rat Catcher outfit in Bruce Wayne's trophy room with all them outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Look it up if you put it in your Google machine there. The
And then
Rat
watch the
Catcher
scene.
Batman 1989 Rat Catcher outfit. You'll see it, and it's kind of neat. It's kind of cool little Easter egg. I like to pretend that maybe Batman took down that villain already before he met The
and
Joker?
then maybe Tim Burton liked him and then decided to throw the deal in there.
I think I liked the first Batman more than I liked Batman Returns.
Batman Returns,
and I think that
yeah.
really when you start, and I get it, but when you start strapping bombs to penguins, I'm like, I'm fucking out.
It's so comic booky.
It's too
though.
comic booky.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
it.
For I thought the tone that they set in the first one,
Yeah.
which I enjoyed.
Which was a darker tone, and Batman has succeeded movie-wise with darker tones.
I'll be honest,
Sure.
and I know this, and I love a lot of Batman movies, and,
Yeah.
and so hold this in high regard. But for me, like if I'm going to watch a Batman movie, it's Batman Begins.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
enjoy.
So
That's probably my
good.
second favorite.
I
Batman
know Dark
movie.
Knight's to
Everyone always
else,
raves about the Dark Knight.
I love
but
that movie,
but
but
it always comes with me with the sequels. You wouldn't have that one without the first one.
Yeah, without Begins.
well, and I love it's kind of the beginning, you know.
And you never saw Batman's origin on
but you
screen.
did, yeah. So if you read the comics, or I guess if you didn't read the comics, you didn't know where that was coming from. You know, I mean, that was something
They did
new
it
and
kind of in
exciting.
flashbacks in the
Yeah.
in the previous films and stuff.
Yeah.
So the idea was there in the audience's minds, and everyone knew. You know, my mom knows Superman and Batman's origin. You know, what I'm saying?
Sure.
But at the time, Batman Begins coming out. Yeah,
well,
I
because
agree.
a lot of that was retconned history too.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
even in the comics.
Yeah.
Sure.
So if you hadn't read a comic book in 10, 20 years,
yeah.
you didn't know that far back of the backstory. And really, it's just a kind of like the MCU does. They're kind of like streamline it for the movie.
Yep.
But that's kind of the retconned history.
Right,
At
right.
any rate.
All right. Here's some anniversaries that I'd like to point out. 10 years ago, Watchmen came out. District
In March,
9.
yep.
25 years ago, Pulp Fiction and Ed Wood. Two of my, top 100 movies
Right.
of all time.
Let's shoot this fucker.
Yeah. Let's shoot this fucker.
Yeah.
I love that shit. Pull the string. Pull the string. I fucking love that shit.
Nice. George the Animal Steel, isn't he in that?
Yeah. Lobo.
Wrestler.
I am
Back to the
Lobo.
wrestler.
He's so...
It's all connected.
Dude, I watched
It
Ed Wood
is.
the other night too. I can't help it. Whenever
Really?
there's nothing else to watch, I watch that movie.
Dude,
It's
that's
one of my
awesome.
favorite
I haven't
movies,
seen
too.
that forever.
It's been a minute. 50
years ago, The Wild Bunch came out. A
Nice.
great Western that lives in the top 10 Westerns of all time. 60 years ago, North by Northwest.
Dang.
Love that movie. Saw it in the theater. Not originally.
I was like, damn, Brock.
I'm not that old.
Brock's
Then
70 years old.
Then 80 years ago, it was A Wizard of Oz.
you go.
Now, Phantasm is 40 years old too.
Cool.
Coming out next month.
Shiny balls.
Fucking crazy
That was a good movie.
That's a
Love
cool
that
movie,
Yeah,
man.
for
I
Yeah,
sure.
love
love
that
that movie. And then, of course, we talked about Alien's 40th anniversary coming up.
Right.
This year is a really big year for, I think, some really great movies on that part of it. All right.
Absolutely.
So let's move on.
Oh, real quick on the DVD, it was recently announced Shazam's coming out July 6th, I believe.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
so that's
Nice.
gonna
Yeah,
be
that'll
out
be a
soon.
good movie.
And I'll
right
definitely
there.
watch that again.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
for
was
sure.
good.
Multiple
It was
times,
good.
yeah. New comics coming out. We've kind of talked a little bit about the Batman Last Night on Earth, Hellboy. This is the one because I kind of like to look again at weirder movies or weirder comic books coming out. Hellboy versus Lobster Johnson, #1.
Wait, when's that coming out?
Who the hell's Lobster Johnson?
Oh, dude, you don't know Lobster Johnson?
I don't know Lobster
He's
Johnson.
another character that was based in what the 40s or
Dude, I just got the Iron Prometheus. It's a 5-issue miniseries introducing you to Lobster Johnson. I forgot the artist's name, so forgive me, but Mignola writes it.
Oh, really?
He's a character from the 30s that like Hellboy grew up reading comic books about because I think they tried to hide his true origin by,
Sure.
making comic books about it in that world.
Absolutely.
Anyway, he has a lobster claw that heats up on his hand. And he fights justice, he like he fights, he fights for justice. He fights Nazis. He kicks ass
with
He's-
his hot lobster claw.
well, he's just a dude who shoots guns and beats, gets
Okay,
in fights. He's got a
okay.
really cool, like, goggly outfit.
Okay.
I didn't even know that was coming out. That sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm not
heard-
making fun. I'm just
No,
it's an interesting name.
This one is another honorable mention for me. It's called Killer Groove. Okay, so basically what I read the synopsis about it, there's a killer in the 70s, right? He's a musician that's failing to find a job, so he works during the day, plays the clubs at night, blah blah blah, and he somehow gets entwined with a local hitman, and then he starts finding out that he's good at it too, and then he writes songs about it, and then he starts kind of growing. So it's another. I think it's an independent comic that's coming out, so it looks pretty
You
cool.
know who it's published by?
No, I didn't write that down for it. But if you look it up, Killer Groove, you'll see who it is. So I looked through a lot of the titles that are coming out, and just for anything that like stands out to me.
Sure.
Of course, like Betty and Veronica versus fucking
Predator.
So comic books.
Well, I'm mostly a DC guy. The only Marvel